That was extremely upsetting, and we're so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Because it's, you know, it's a very important tale to tell. So we're joined by you, Jess's mum, Marie, and James, Jess's brother.
And also Dr. Dawn is here as well. It's very, very tough to watch.
Right.
Yeah, for both of you. Very, very close family. And she was only 21, as we said there, when she started showing the symptoms. And initially, you didn't really think anything about it, did you?
No, not at first. You just, you know, she'd not long had a baby. And obviously, you know, when she had the symptoms, that's what they was putting it down to, or her age or the pill. But she was having bloating, heavy periods, just not feeling very well, and honestly, she was really tired all the time. And when I kept going up to her house, I kept saying, you know, you're tired, you're anemic, you know, just loads of different things going around in your head, not the C word. You don't never think of that.
Because naturally that's how you do feel. You can suffer those symptoms after you've just had a baby.
Yeah.
At what point did she or you all realise that, hang on a second, this isn't right, there's something wrong here?
I think about probably going into about the third or fourth time to the GP, because say she was getting really heavy bleeding and it wasn't stopping, it was continuous. Then I thought, hang on, this is not something that's right here. So, but as I say, we went in 9 times in the end.
9 times.
Staggering.
Did you talk about it with her, James?
We didn't talk about it much. It was just sort of, it all came out in one go.
Just sort of kept things to herself a lot, but we was all noticing that.
And were you aware that she'd been backwards and forwards 9 times?
Yeah, because I actually went with her and a partner did, and she obviously went with herself, but I was always in the waiting room or I went in with her.
And what did the doctor say?
Basically, it was a case of, well, you've just had a baby, it's your body getting back to normal, it's your age. They changed the pill about 4 times.
So what was the time span that she went 9 times? How many weeks?
Oh, God, I think it was in the February, and she got diagnosed in April, so that was the time span between that, really.
And when she was finally diagnosed, and it was such a catastrophic diagnosis, what effect did that have on you as a family?
It was just horrendous. You go into this world of just frozen, you can't think of anything. And then the only thing I did do is, with every stage of what we went through for the whole 12 months, you sort of go from that stage to the next, you just keep moving it, and you're hoping when you can get to the end of it and get sorted out.
Well, you said, James, that you refused to believe that she was going to go, and you tried to keep things as normal as possible. How did you do that?
He kept us all going. He's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It's just not something you can like cope with in your head. So it's just like you make yourself believe.
We're a very close family, and I think the way we did it was, and Jess didn't talk about death. She wanted to talk about life, so we didn't actually. None of us had that conversation throughout all of it. We just carried on as normal as we could, because I think that was way her coping and us, to be honest. So you sort of live a fairy tale, like you keep going with this and keep going and going and going and going, and then, you know, when it comes to the end and you know it's coming, that was the awful thing as well. I was living with my daughter and we was all living with her, and we know this is going to be the last of this, the last of that. It was just horrendous.
You explained very emotionally in that film there about what happened, so there is absolutely no need to go through that again, because we do know. Let's look at the positive side of things. What is it that you want to see change out of all of this?
I actually want more awareness out for cervical cancer. I know every cancer is important, but I want to get boxes out, I want to visit schools, I want leaflets out in GPs for the HPV test. You know, I didn't really know anything about it. I was quite blind myself to it, and Jessie was really. We didn't know, but I've done loads of research, and the loads of leaflets that you can get hold of for HPV virus is just an indication of to think, because if I'd have had that, or Jessie, I could have thought, hang on, that's not right, that's some, you know, it's to do with this HPV virus.
Well, that's why you've set up Jessie's Wishes, and Jessie's Wishes, details are all on our website, so something good can hopefully come out of the dreadful, dreadful situation that you all found yourself in.
We're just in the midst of sorting it all out at the moment, so we want as much backing up as we can to get it out there.
Dawn, there is an age limit in England. It's 25. Jess was 21. Why can't it be lowered? Because I think
Right.
Scotland's at age 20, isn't it?
It is, and it used to be over 20 in England. The reasons it was changed were actually based on the National Screening Committee. They weren't financially driven. It was because our cervix is still developing in our early 20s, and a lot of young women were getting mildly abnormal smear results, which causes an enormous amount of angst. And some of those were fine and just returned to normal, but some women were ending up having treatment that wasn't absolutely necessary, it would turn out in the long run, but it would increase their risk of a premature labour or a miscarriage if they were to get pregnant later on. So the thinking was that cervical cancer is incredibly rare under 25 and that we should raise that so that we don't use that angst. Now, of course, that is just awful for you to hear, but what I think you're brilliant to have come on telly and talked about this, because the really, really important thing is we don't screen any under 25s in England, but abnormal bleeding must always be reported to the doctor, and 9 times out of 10 more than, it's not going to be anything like cervical cancer, it'll be something else, but it must always be reported and go back.